Well, I did play in these rocks today, and I'm happy with them. And that's really all I did to the painting. Put a few lines in that green grass behind the rocks, but that's all for today. I'm not going to do more painting. Next, I'm going to work on this tree trunk. See that sort of flattish area of burnt sienna? It went right up to the black line, and on the other side of that black line was this green grass. And no, it wasn't well anchored. It didn't look very good. So I sort of laid in a little bit of burnt sienna and ultramarine blue. I've just smudged it in there. That's not painted. It's not finished. It's just I wanted to go from the where the tree meets the grass at a very low value and raise the value more slowly as I went up the tree. I do think I'm going to put a few higher value strokes on the tree. I think that that would be beneficial. That's kind of what I've settled on for the moment anyway. You know, a little bit of light on this branch as well, and on that bow as well. I don't know, we'll play and we'll see how it goes. But you know, the main thing is it continues to improve. Papa always said you gotta keep improving it. Every time you touch it, go in with a plan. If you don't have a plan, if you don't know what to do, then don't bother, because you're just going to make a weaker painting. Anyway, I've decided how to make it, well, not to lose strength anyway. Carburetor on my motorcycle, I got it back together today. I didn't get it put on the bike. The reason that there are issues in Canada for my carburetor having issues, why it gets plugged up easily. I've had to take my lawnmower apart. I've had to take the carburetor on my lawnmower and now on my motorcycle, is because we have ethanol in our fuel. To my knowledge, you cannot get away with it. You can't get away with finding fuel that does not have ethanol in it, like gas that doesn't have ethanol. Ethanol destroys a lot of the rubbers in your fuel lines, and also if you don't continuously use it, you'll end up with a lot of residue in carbureted vehicles. Now, newer vehicles are not carbureted at all. You know, they have fuel injection. So it's not an issue unless, of course, you were to leave it sit for a couple of years. Then it gets really expensive to clear all the lines. In my case, because I can do it myself, it's not going to be expensive, but it's still a nuisance, and it's pretty time consuming to clean out all these lines. You have to dissolve the gunk that the ethanol slash gas leaves behind, and then put everything back together. And I'm going to have to do a better job of making sure that when the season ends, I drain all the fuel out of the carburetor. I should probably actually take the bowl off the bottom of the carburetor, because if you just open the fuel cock on the bottom of the carburetor to allow it to drain, there's still a bunch of fuel in there, and it leaves residue behind. Anyway, I'm blithering. There is no clean line between seasons here, because we live in an area that can be very warm in the winter. It's usually rainy here, summer and winter. Mostly winter, and we'll have some drier spots in the summer, but usually it's pretty wet here, and it's unpredictable. So if even in winter, if we have a nice day, I'll tell you, that bike's calling to me. Anyway, that's all. You know, this doesn't seem like I've done a whole lot, but it actually took quite a while for me to figure out exactly, you know, the values are pretty persnickety. The colors are a bit persnickety. I took these rocks, I used, had these in place, but they weren't very strong, so I strengthened them. It's all a combination in the rocks of ultramarine blue and raw umber. Here was very little ultramarine blue. It was mostly raw umber. When I reconfigured and repainted these rocks, I introduced more ultramarine blue and a little more white in places, so that there's actually not just shades of gray, but a hint more color, just a hint. So this was looking very blue adjacent to this. So what I did was I took these colors and I moved into here and gave them stronger lines as well, because this needed strength, you know. And I think next I'm going to add just a slight hint of a splash of light on this warmer green area here, climbing the tree gently and in places showing some light. That's what I'm going to work on next. No, really, I promise. See you soon.